Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 5 o'clock to 5:30 p.m. session of the OSCC Open Simulator Community Conference. In this session, I am pleased to announce that the Islands of Enlightenment is our topic, middle school students learning and creating. Our speakers are Amanda Thompson and Jay MenzCH. Unfortunately, Andrew Wheelock, or Spiff Whitfield, was unable to make it today. Amanda and Jay are middle school teachers. Andy is a elementary school teacher, not a technology integrator, and works with schools throughout the Western New York area. Please check out the website found at conference.opensimulator.org for speaker bios, details of sessions, and the full schedule of events. The session is being live streamed and recorded, so if you have questions or comments during the session, you may send tweets to @OpenSimCC with the hashtag #OSCC22. Welcome, everyone. Let's begin the session. I'll turn it over to our speakers.
Hi, this is Amanda Thompson, and I'm with my co-presenter and social studies teacher, James MenzCH. And this is our project where we were teaching students to learn about the Holocaust through the virtual world of the Anne Frank Annex. So I teach 7th grade English language arts at Cleveland Hill Middle School. And Jay MenzCH is my social studies partner, also obviously at Cleveland Hill Middle School in Cheektowaga, New York. And we spend a lot of time together and in each other's classes. We have time built in over the summer to align our classes cross-curricularly so that whatever I'm teaching about in English language arts aligns with what Jay is teaching in social studies. So with that, we've specifically chosen text to provide students with a lot of background knowledge that they'll need to fully understand and appreciate the Anne Frank Annex, which is what Andy Wheelock has built for students in our area. So in English language arts, we read Hitler Youth Growing Up in Hitler's Shadow, and that gives students the background knowledge that's needed to understand and appreciate everything in the book Thief. So students read those two things. We start in around March and we end in May. And in the meantime, Jay is teaching students about World War II in social studies. And in social studies, they're also reading excerpts from the Diary of Anne Frank and Fred Korematsu, An All-American Hero. So over the summer, we spend a lot of time co-planning so that we hit things just right. In social studies, you know, students will be learning about World War I as I'm getting to Hitler Youth Growing Up in Hitler's Shadow. And then we kind of progress along the same timeline throughout so that as the students are learning about, you know, the content of World War I and II, they're getting it really narratively in English language arts and being able to learn really in depth the different themes and intricacies of both World War I and World War II. So we do a lot of planning to make it a meaningful experience. And along with that goes our 7th grade team day. So this is a day devoted just to World War II. We're lucky that in Buffalo, New York, we have a really active Holocaust Resource Center that does a lot with local survivors of the Holocaust. So the day centers around lessons that students can learn from Hitler's rise to power. And then they do various activities to learn about the Jewish faith. So we usually bring in a professor of Jewish studies who goes over artifacts and important holidays and the culture of Judaism. And then we are provided with a speaker by the Buffalo Holocaust Resource Center, a survivor of the Holocaust. And we do a big presentation in the auditorium, and students get to hear the details of what that person would have gone through. So for that particular day, we focused on the events of Kristallnacht. We've also had survivors who shared their experience being on the SS St. Louis, coming over as a refugee. So we're able to give students a really, a fully rounded picture of the Holocaust before we get into the annex and before we get into the virtual world.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jay MenzCH. As Amanda said, I'm a 7th grade social studies teacher at Cheektowaga at Cleveland Hill Middle School. I'm going to get into the details about the project that we've been working on and what we wanted to share with you. So one of the first things that we realized that we needed to do for our students is really establish, some guidelines within the world. As 7th grade students, sometimes they're kind of all over the place and they want to go and do kind of their own thing. But we wanted to establish some firm and very, clear guidelines for them to follow within the Islands of Enlightenment. So with Mr. Wheelock, we did develop some tutorial videos that they can go in and watch. It kind of walks them through how to log in, how they get their username, and then basic things like how to, navigate the world, move around, how to chat, how to communicate, using the pie menu, things like that. So we spend almost an entire day kind of going through those skills, and then we have an assessment on each skill. So, once students complete it, they check it off the list. That way, by the end, we know that they have completed everything and that they know how to just navigate the world. The other thing that we like to do is, because they're 7th graders, I give them almost an entire day to just play in the world, because they want to jump and run and swim and all those kinds of things that 7th graders like to do. So we found that works really well, because the students are able to kind of get that out of their system and really focus on the work while it's taking place.
And it's also really nice because a lot of our students are gamers, so we've spent our time reading and learning and doing traditional classroom activities. But once they see this, they get so excited because this is their wheelhouse. This is where they feel like an expert.
Much more so than we do. So they teach us a lot as we're going through it. Okay, so getting into the meat of the project. So we wanted students ultimately to have an experience where they would learn about the members of the secret annex and Anne Frank and the family and the people that were inside that building during the Holocaust. So Amanda and I created these boxes where students will go and they'll pick up their assignment card, and they'll carry that with them throughout each leg of the project. So just to kind of show you what an assignment would look like, the note card that they would receive has 4 assignments on it. The first one is always kind of summarizing the biographical information. We have them summarized because we feel like that's a skill that they need in both social studies and in ELA. Then they look at kind of the background information, or the previous life experience of the character. This one about Margot explains how she was an excellent student. She, loved to play sports and do kinds of things. So it really focuses on what that character was doing in their regular life before they were in the annex. Assignment number 3 is kind of based on the life within the annex itself. What Margot went through, what she experienced, what it was like to be in that building. And again, they're gathering pieces of evidence to support their claim. Also important in both subject areas. And then the last one is basically just talking about what it was like, what was life like for these people after the raid on the annex. So after they were captured and after they were caught, what ended up happening to them. So assignment 4 really kind of wraps things up for the students as well, because they're always interested in finding out, what happened to these people. once they've kind of gotten to know the person, it kind of makes it very real for them. And, you know, we get a lot of feeling out of what they gather from assignment 4, just because, you know, they've become attached to these characters in a way.
And Jay does do excerpts from the diary and social studies, but before we get into the annex, we don't give anything away about, you know, how it ended up for each person. So, you know, they're really motivated to get through each assignment to kind of for the reveal of what happened to each character. And we've kind of set it up, and Jay will go into this as a scavenger hunt. So they have to work their way through the different rooms of the annex to complete each assignment.
Right. Okay, so for the first assignment, when they click on what is called the assignment wall, which is located on the other side of the building, so we have kind of a welcome center. Once they get their note card, they would go outside. They would walk down, you know, what looks like 1940s Amsterdam. They would walk down, and then around the corner, there's an assignment wall where they would click on the name of the person that they are doing their assignment on. So for this one, they would click on Margot Frank. The first texture would pop up, giving kind of some biographical information that they would use. And then down at the bottom where the arrows are, so we give them a clue for them to look for at the next location. So we usually try to tie it into something about the person's life. For example, Margot being very athletic, enjoyed tennis and rowing. That's what they're going to look for when they get to their next spot. To get to the next location, we describe them going to a red, black, and white striped boat. Once they find that, they click on it, and that is their teleport to the next location. So assignment 2, you know, just kind of the same thing. This is all about early life of Margot. You can see at the bottom, again, we have a different clue for them to look for. But again, it's tied into something about that person's life as well. So it was great for Amanda and I to kind of learn how to create these objects in, you know, the virtual environment, and then, you know, learn how to connect them to the teleports and everything like that. So the main focus for us was we wanted the students to do an assignment where they had to stay in the virtual world. We didn't want them to be going outside and Googling information or finding it, you know, in a book. We wanted them to actually learn from the experience of being in the virtual environment. So the next one, again, this is all about, you know, Margot's life within the annex. We used, you know, the Anne Frank House website to kind of get a lot of this info. You know, and again, just the clue for the next one directly tied to, you know, something involved in Margot's life. We found that the students really enjoy searching for the next teleport, you know, and even the clue to get the information that they need for the assignment. It's a scavenger hunt, so it's fun for them while they're learning, and they, as Amanda said, you know, being a lot of gamers, you know, they really enjoy the experience a lot. And this one, it just wraps it up at the end. There's no clue, there's no teleport. It's just the final piece of their assignment. So once they get this, they're summarizing the information, and they're moving on to the next person. So they would go back to the Welcome Center. They would, well, actually, what they would do is, a completed assignment would look like this. So they filled in all the information that they need for each of the assignments. They've included snapshots in one where they took a picture, they built something, and they took a picture, and they can put it right into their assignment. And once they finish with that, they actually they're just directly turning this into our office space. So Amanda's is on the left, mine is on the right. We created these prim boxes for them to click on with the faces of the people that are in the annex. So whatever assignment they're doing, if they're doing it on Anne, they would go to my office. They would click on whatever box corresponds to their class period. They would click on it, and they can turn their assignment directly into that. It was so much easier as a teacher to grade those assignments as well, because you know, it goes from their hands right to ours. There's no, you know, losing of assignments. It's pretty easy, and we can go through it and just grade it and get it back to the kids very, very simply. Hey, Amanda.
So at Cleveland Hill Middle School, we have one of the most diverse populations in our area. So on the right, you'll see all of the different countries that our students have come from. Their parents have come from there, and so we have a lot of different cultures, a lot of different religions practiced in our school, and we really wanted to reflect that in the avatars when students enter the world, so that they feel like their avatar is an extension of who they are and they're not putting on somebody else's clothes, you know? So Andy Wheelock, or Spiff, as many of you might know him, created all of the avatars for our students before they get into the world, so that they reflect our students. You know, so we let him know beforehand. We give him a class list. We tell him skin color, male or female, and if they have any preferences as far as like wearing a headscarf or something like that. So you can see, you know, a picture of one of our student avatars there who wears the headscarf, you know, in the real world. And so it's reflected in the virtual world as well. And we've really found that that helps to get a lot of buy-in with the students, because again, they see themselves reflected in their avatar, and it kind of gives them more of a sense of belonging and ownership to what we're doing. So you can see our students working here. You know, Mr. Medzi, Jay Medzi, and I also have classes at the same time. So, you know, my class will work in the library, and attached to that is the computer lab. So you could see students working on the bottom right in the library, and on the left hand side, that's his class in the computer lab. So we have, you know, anywhere from 30 to 50 students in all at once working at the same time, which is nice because then they can talk to each other, you know, using the local chat, and have fun, you know, helping each other through the assignments as well. One of the things that we really found to be so outstanding with the virtual world that Andy created is that it really does give students a sense of the space of the annex. You know, so if we have 10, 15 students trying to cram into Peter's room, it's not going to work. They won't all fit. So they really get a sense of the space, and are able to help each other through the annex. And there's no other experience like it that we can give students. They could read all day about the annex, you know, they could see pictures, and they do, but to be able to experience it and to feel the space with you know, with their avatar, is just an experience that is so unique, and one that they talk about, you know, when they leave, and they tell, you know, students the next year, oh, you know, you're going to get to do the world. So it's something that we've really enjoyed doing, and we can't thank Andy Wheelock enough for setting this up and teaching us, because neither one of us have any background in gaming or virtual worlds. So this has been new to us. The fact that we could get on the stage today has been an achievement. So, you know, it's just been such a great experience, and such a welcoming experience for us to the virtual world and to OpenSim. Everybody has just been great. So, Jay, any last things to add?
I just wanted to add that, you know, when Amanda and I took this project on, as she said, we had very limited experience, and there's no way we could have done this without Andy's help. But once we got the kids into the world, and because we had set up, you know, and taught them previously to doing this project, the kids really did a great job of just being respectful for the environment, and they started to really kind of like monitor each other and say, hey, you know, this is, you're not supposed to be doing this in world, like get back on track. And so we were surprised by that a little bit, I think. But once we get it up and going, I mean, it really runs itself. Like Amanda and I can be in world and just kind of interact with the kids and walk around virtually, rather than just kind of being around the classroom.
Yeah, I mean, if they're stuck, we can teleport them to different locations and, you know, give them hints. So it's really, it's been such a fantastic engagement tool, you know, and something that we could never replicate, you know, using textbooks or any of the traditional methods for learning. So I think that's it. Jay, if you want to go to the next slide, our emails are there. If you have any questions, you know, please feel free to contact us. And we'd love to put you in touch with Andy Wheelock. I'm sure that he would love to share what we're doing and get more people involved as well.
And thank you, Amanda and Jay-Z. That was a wonderful session. As a reminder to our audience, you will want to check out the conference.opensimulator.org to see what is coming up on the conference schedule. You won't want to miss our music events, which begin next in this keynote region, starting with Witch Whisper, and it's on the OSCC music stage. So if you type OSCC, you'll see the music stage in the list in the world map. Also, we encourage you to visit the OSCC22 Poster Expo in the OSCC Expo 3 region to find accompanying information on our presenters and their presentations, to explore the hypergrid resources in OSCC Expo 2 region, along with the sponsor and crowdfunder booths located throughout all of the OSCC Expo regions. Thank you again to our speakers and to you, the audience.